Quiet.
Oh, what the fuck? You didn't even show up. Oh, my God. There's always something, man. Always something.
Yeah. That's why I gotta have like that 30 minutes beforehand where you're just messing with overlays.
Yeah, well, I was, but I feel like that's always the problem.
Oh, you get too deep.
Yeah, and then I messed something else up. Hang on, guys. 1 second, I'll fix it. We need to see Isaac's beautiful face.
Nah, I don't.
Oh, we got a host, but I can't see who it is. Thank you for the host. All right, let's just adjust this. Come on, there we go.
Oh man, nice jacket. I got one of those.
Dude, it wouldn't be a live show if you didn't have like random technical errors.
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of the fun, right?
Sure.
That's why we all love streaming.
Exactly. Okay, there we go. Now we got it. And bam. What the fuck? No. Okay, well, now I'm having...
Just never all tab.
No, it wasn't. It's not that. Like, it shouldn't...
Oh.
It shouldn't... Hang on 1 second. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to fix this real quick. Because it shouldn't want to do a region cap. It should just be doing Skype. And just the Skype window.
But now I want to find my StarCraft jacket. I want to see if I can find it.
Dude, get it. Okay, now it's capturing Skype. Now we're good. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about our little technical delay. Again, wouldn't be a live show without it. Okay, now we're good. Okay, now I can throw this over here. Do this here. All right, what up, boys? Sorry about that. We're back now. Let Isaac find his jacket here. Oh man, does he get his cat on his bed? We do have a good show lined up, obviously. A little bit earlier. New work schedule for myself, so I got every other Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. So our every other Wednesday show will be live a little bit earlier. And we'll probably even do some like in the early afternoon. Do some like European guests even. I think next week we're probably going to do maybe Optimus. Or maybe even this weekend do Optimus. And then we'll try to grab some of those other Europeans that have eluded me due to time constraint. Weren't able to find it?
No, I couldn't find it. Damn.
Ripperino, but anyway, everyone, welcome to the show. PandaBearMe, Isaac, welcome, man. Thank you for joining me. This is episode number, I think it's 60. I think that officially it's 62 because I didn't upload our last one since it was kind of just a fucking meme show. So
I should have waited like 7. That would have been better. Jeez. I didn't know you were that high. Damn.
Yeah, dude. Well, been doing it for over a year now. I mean, it's we're into year 2 of I guess officially we started doing it in the end of 2015. No.
Wow. What, really?
2016. End of 2016, and then we did it in 2017, and now we're in 2018.
Because 2016 was like when Legacy just came out, right?
Yeah, but we started doing the show, I think, in August maybe.
Okay.
When it first started, yeah.
That sounds about right. That makes sense.
But anyway, welcome. Thanks for being on the show, dude. I appreciate you.
Of course.
We got a couple things for today's shows. We're going to go over some general news. Obviously, we're going to talk with PandaBearMe about his trip to Korea and also the new team and just how stuff's going with that. And then obviously we'll cover, a little bit of GSL, talk about IEM. Like I said, just kind of the general stuff. But let's start with you, man, because the focus is you. So, and I want to talk about this new team, right? So first off, how do I say it? How do I say it correctly?
Oh, I actually haven't asked what the exact pronunciation. I always said Meliora.
Okay, that's how I have said it, but I don't know if that's because I've heard different people say it different ways, right?
Yeah, I actually haven't fact checked that, so I'm not even sure if I'm right on that. I just went with it because I was like, that sounds right. But I'm really bad with pronunciation. I'll just add letters to people's names and stuff. Yeah, I'm probably not the person to guess.
I'm the same way, man. I'll see something and I'll be like, that looks close enough.
Close enough,
right? Yeah.
It's pretty much ballparking it.
Yeah,
there's a P in there.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It gets bad sometimes because it's like, a name they've had for 10, 15 years, sometimes some of these IDs, and it's like, you just can't say it.
Right. Yeah. It's like,
you're like,
you finally meet them in person, like, how in the fuck do I say your name? And then they tell it to you. It's like Steve, and you're just like, what?
Oh.
Yeah, like
I thought it was Stave. Like,
yeah. No, that's like a guy on Scythe Esports right now. So his ID phonetically is Goucher, but he's like Canadian, and so it's like it's not Goucher.
It's like a little bit French.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, and you look at it and you're like, how do you get that out of this? Like,
how do you deal with these people? Like, because that happens too, where it's like, it looks like something, but it's actually not how they say it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, if they're saying it that way, you gotta respect it, right? Like, it's, their name, and usually it's not even like a word, so it's like, you can't argue with it,
right?
So yeah, it's like, sometimes you're at the mercy of just like however they spelt it when they were like 15. You just never know.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Richard's Meliora.
Meliora, yeah, that's what I thought. And so now the owner is from Greece, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a weird group of people.
Yeah. So how did they come about like contacting you? Because like it kind of seemed like in the beginning, the team was like, because who was the first person signed? It was Sort of, right?
Yeah, it was Sort of like right away, and that's how I heard of the team too.
Okay.
Because they hadn't talked to me yet. I was like,
so at that point you haven't even heard of them. Like you didn't know anything about it yet.
Yeah, I hadn't gotten contacted until like maybe a couple of weeks later, and I was like, well, they signed Sort of, so that's that's like a good sign,
right?
At least that they're not like messing around. But yeah, that was like the first time was just seeing Sort of, and I was like, oh, good for him. I didn't think anything of it. Mm-hmm. I was probably like everyone else, just like, oh, just another team. We'll see how it goes, kind of thing.
Right, kind of picking up like that one player or something at that point, at least.
Yeah. I was actually really excited to see like them be a one-player team and just focus on Sort of, because that's kind of what I wanted for Sort of in Revolution, but it didn't really work out so much because they ended up getting like the Koreans and stuff.
Right.
So I was like, oh, this is like his chance to be like really like have a team focus on him, because I feel like that's a good player to have as your one guy, or someone like him.
Sure.
So I was like, that was kind of all I had in mind. But then they ended up getting up to like 4 players now, and funny enough, all Zerg players.
Right.
Which is totally a coincidence, by the way. It was just like who was like available at the time. I think, it was just like, I think like at that time, if you looked at like all the free agents, like 90% of them were Zergs for some reason, and that's probably still pretty much the case. There's just like a lot of Zergs in WCS,
Right. Yeah.
That's just kind of how it ended up.
So at one point, did they contact you then?
Yeah, so it was a couple weeks later, and I think like he found me through a recommendation or something from somebody else.
Okay.
And yeah, I was just kind of like, because I've been in a lot of legendary teams, like Apocalypse Esports, like I'm the investigator now.
Right.
Like, like you want to know like what how a sketchbook looks like, I know what it looks like, right. Like it's like I would know, but like even with that team, like you couldn't really see it coming that much. So it's like I really got down with it. I'm like, who are you, and like what's your background and stuff. And he like did a lot of management for like a CS tournament in Greece. He like really worked with the Greece community.
Okay.
And like a little different stuff in Hearthstone, and he did like a lot of interviews, which actually with actual like big personalities in StarCraft, which I was surprised because I never really heard of them.
Well, I mean, like, they were in Greek, so I mean, you probably couldn't have.
No, it was in English.
Oh, was it?
Like,
okay.
Yeah, it was like Tasteless and stuff, or like people like Tasteless. I forget exactly who. He had like actual like like big people that he interviewed, and like Drogo and like players like that. And I was like, oh wow!
I still don't even know who this guy is, and I'm right there with you. I still don't know who that is.
Yeah, like it's just like totally weird because it's like he actually had good players, and I didn't know who he was. It was So it's like interesting, like looking at it, because this would have been like like half a year to a year later or whatever. When he made the videos, and now I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh shit. So it was like, okay, this guy like isn't that sketchy, because usually like it's just somebody you couldn't even look up the name if you tried, right. But if you looked up his ID, like stuff would actually come up. So I was like, oh shit. And so then I like hammered out through the contract with like a whole week, because like that's like another, even though I knew who he was, I was like, I gotta get clarification on a lot of stuff, you know.
Right.
So like, he was really patient, and he like went through everything, and like, you know, there's always like misunderstandings because I'm just a player, you know. I don't know what some of the legal term means. Like if it's too complicated,
Sure.
it wasn't really like that in this case, but it was just like it seemed like it could mean something else. So I just wanted to clarify, and you know, he was really understanding and really patient. And like by the time I didn't even know that there were other players getting signed, but like at the same time he was talking to Jim Rising and Eggs. So then by the time I was like, okay, I'm ready to do it, he was like, okay, cool, we're gonna announce you. And like also there was like the two other guys. I was like, oh shit, like actually we're in like a full team now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and that's understandable. You know, we've had so many like of those teams that are like, you know, fly by night, like pop ups. You know, that like, oh, we'll promise you the world, and then, you know, lo and behold, you know, in less than like a couple months they're just gone, or, you know, or
yeah, you never know.
Or longer, but they're not paying players, and, you know, and they're screwing the players over. So that's some scary stuff. You know, like, you know, obviously now with my first foray into, you know, with our team, it's kind of the same thing. Like I'm just like covering my, you know, I don't want to overpromise anything, and you know, it's. I think as long as you're just transparent about like what you're doing and how things are going with your players, like you're fine. You know.
Yeah, it's a lot of communication and like building that trust. Like even if like say something terrible happens and you can't, like you got to be able to have them trust you that it will happen or something, you know.
Right.
Because sometimes stuff goes wrong, you know.
It's
but
just
like
out of your hands sometimes.
Yeah, like oh, yeah, but that it sucks for the people who are like honestly like something awful happened, like you know they like something got bounced or something like that, and then they're like, oh, this is just another, you know, X team trying to screw me, and then you know they just get out, which is, you know, fair enough if they don't pay you, but like at the same time, if you knew that it was coming, you know, you wouldn't want to do that necessarily, right?
Right.
Other people aren't that picky. It's just kind of like they don't want to stay in a team that they think is dead, but yeah, they've been totally like legit. It's pretty much just been the Vampy Aurora. I don't know how to say its actual first name, so I kind of feel weird saying Vampy, but
I was say Vampy Worm.
Yeah, I get that too. Where it's like I can't say Vampy Worm because it's the second person that I've ever seen Vamp. I actually thought Vampy Aurora was Vamp Aurora. Yeah, close enough. See, this is the name thing again. It's all just right. He's very serious about like getting content and stuff for the events and like trying to make videos. Like there was a little video for sort of going to Katowice. And he tried to get some stuff for Pyeongchang, but like unfortunately, we just didn't get it in time. Like I just didn't see the messages or something, and I got very sick in Korea, so then like I couldn't do anything.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not the greatest film maker in the first place. Like I'm not good with cameras.
Yeah,
it's not a good thing. But yeah, he's very serious about like trying to be different than other teams, which I think is really important because a lot of smaller teams will just like do the bare minimum and then just kind of exist through the players and try to like, you know, get good luck with how they do, and then that's it. But he's doing a little bit more, I think, than any team I've been on, at least. So I like it.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear that it's working out, that, you know, this dude's, you know, doing stuff and he's trying to make, you know, I think there's nothing wrong with always trying, you know, with trying to do something different, right? You know, it's like we have this classic scheme, you know, and it's been okay, but, you know, I think there's always things we can improve on, you know, as you know, team owners, and then also, you know, just as people in the scene, you know, there's always stuff that we can be doing better to, you know, better the players, better the content, you know. There's nothing wrong with trying something new. Yeah. Especially
in StarCraft, because like StarCraft really like doesn't have like a lot of teams doing that kind of stuff. I feel like these big teams really have that kind of social media established, but like for StarCraft, it's not really a thing. I feel like so.
Right.
I definitely feel like that's something that can be improved on, like in a big way.
Right. Definitely. So you were kind of talking about Korea. So let's kind of talk about that trip that you had to Korea. So it started through that qualifier where, you know, there was like the disqualifications, but luckily enough, you know, even though they sorted it out, you were still obviously able to participate.
Yeah, luckily I was in that bracket sneaking along.
Which was great for you though, right? Like that was like a great opportunity to just to go out there, you know. And I remember watching, you know, your video that they made for you, you know, that had you and your mom in it, and you know, and I, you know, I've known you for, you know, what, like a year and a half or so now.
Yeah, it must be.
You know, we've met at a couple of like the local lands and stuff, but
yeah, like Montreal and the Midwest lands.
Yeah, but even that, like, I saw like a different side. You know, like I learned so much more about you as a player and a person, you know, from that. And you know, even as someone who, you know, like I said, that I've met you multiple times. You know, we've hung out. You know, it's just some of that stuff. It's like you just, you know, it's so interesting to watch, especially about someone that you know, right? And to have you just being like local too, you know, it made me happy just to know that you were going to, you know, going to compete in Korea and then being like having these opportunities. Like I was just happy for you, you know, knowing you, and then also for, like I said, just from you, from being from like the Midwest. Like I just felt proud as like a Midwesterner to know that like, hey, someone from here finally like made it, you know, out to Korea is like, you know, doing well.
Yeah, watching that video, because I watched it like a day or two before anyone else did, like Apollo, because like I was at Korea, right? And then there was kind of like the player area, and then there was like this kind of production video area, and like in a different room, Apollo was like, "Hey man, you want to watch the video?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And I watched it, and I was like, "Wow, this is intense," because like I really didn't expect like them to take it that direction. I kind of hoped they did, but like they asked so many different things because they kind of cover so many bases. You know, you gotta, you know, prepare for anything. What kind of story will pop up? So like a lot of it was like, you know, about like the town I lived in and stuff, and like kind of random stuff. Right. So I really didn't see like how it would piece together. But then my mom like really dug into the kind of emotional side of it, and I think it really paid off because that was like a really important time in my life. Like for StarCraft, especially if you're gonna talk about StarCraft, that was like a very pivotal moment. Mm-hmm. You know, trying to, you know, get through all those dark times, trying to get, like, even getting to the airport was hard, you know, like she said at one point.
Right.
So I really liked that video because I think it really, you know, it wasn't like, oh, well, you know, they kind of messed up here, or this isn't how I felt, you know. Right. It captured it perfectly. I was really impressed.
And one thing that kind of stuck with me that you had said was, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be paraphrasing, but it was something like, you felt like you'd come to a point in your career where like something had to change, right? Like something needed to happen. Like you know, you'd been doing this for so long, you know, but like, you tell me, like, did it feel like you just weren't going anywhere? You're like, I keep doing this, but like nothing's changing, right?
Yeah, like that had a lot of meanings at the time, because like in even playing that qualifier for IEM, because the day before there was WSG, right, or maybe it was 2 days before or something like that. There was WSG, and I totally bombed out. I lost to like Jon Snow 2 into like Puck or something. I can't remember exactly, but it was such a devastating loss, and it was like the most I've ever played concurrently and like just back to back, and it was like doing the opposite effect for me, where I was actually getting worse. But like I had this idea that I just had to try as hard as I could, and the only way I knew how to try is by playing a lot and like just trying to grind.
Right.
And I was totally mentally broken. So like I was just like, well, because I had like a deadline for myself at the end of the year, and I was like, well, I'm not qualifying for IEM, and I just bombed out at WSG. Like I think I'm just done. So just for show, pretty much, I just played the IEM qualifier, and everyone got DQ'd. And I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
Just like, yeah, I'm like, whoa, this is weird. So I was like, there's actually a chance. So I played that, and then I was like, well, I have to keep playing now. There's like, you know, I can't just not try.
Right.
So that's what I did. So like, I really felt like it's like that was kind of a crossroads, but also like moving forward, it's really going to determine whether I keep playing and like get really good, or if I just completely stop. You know, like it still exists, and it's like IEM wasn't really like the result of that wasn't really going to determine that. It was like a very long, like the next 6 months.
Right.
You know, like I wasn't going to expect to win versus Major, right? You're going to try your best, but like he's like a round of 4 BlizzCon player, right?
Yeah.
So it didn't really make sense. So it wasn't really like like, oh, this is the crossroads. If I beat major now, or special, sorry, like, I'm going to become really good or something. It was just kind of like, I'm going to use this tournament experience and try to learn as much as I possibly can, and then try to use that momentum to actually like do something in the next WCS tournament or two.
Right.
And then we'll see what happens. So, yeah.
So what was it like to just like, because was that the first time you've ever been out of North America?
No, I've been to Germany once for Home Story Cup, but that was the only other time.
Gotcha. Well, okay.
That was like really.
So what was it like then? Just like flying into Korea. Like, I mean, first of all, I mean, I can only imagine you were ecstatic, like knowing like that you were like getting to be able to like fly out there, right, and compete, right. Like, I'm sure that was like amazing in itself. But then what was it like? Like the long flight, like you get off and like you're in Korea. Like how did you feel at that point?
I was just like super focused on getting out of the airport. Like I had like two things on my mind, because I actually stayed an extra week in Korea. So I needed a SIM card, which I knew I could get at the airport, and I needed to get the hell out. And I didn't remember that someone was actually supposed to pick me up, so I was kind of just like focused on the SIM card.
Right.
But then after a while, I was like, oh shit, I actually should like talk to this person that's supposed to pick me up. But I mean, it felt great. Like, getting off a plane flight for like 12 hours is just an amazing feeling in general. And like I couldn't feel the difference, being in a different country yet. But like, it was just, there's like that adrenaline just knowing that you've traveled that far. So it was exciting, but very exhausting.
Yeah, definitely. Was it almost like a surreal feeling, right? Like getting off the plane and like, I'm actually here to compete. Like I'm here to compete like in this tournament. Like, this is a real thing. Like, this is happening.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, because like when I always thought that like, oh, like if there was ever a chance I was going to go to Korea, it'd be like something like to Team House or like GSL or something. Never would I thought it would be in like an IEM tournament, right? Like it's so out of the normal, especially like historically. Like the only other IEM tournament in Korea was like that one last year, right? Like Gyeonggi.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if there was even one before that. So like it was just such a weird way, because it was like not how I envisioned it at all, Because like you always have an idea of like, oh, this is what it's gonna happen if I ever go to this. I mean, like, and I was like 90% chance of that happening, but then I somehow got like the 1% variable. So yeah, it was cool, but like it was nothing how I imagined it. So it was like kind of all fresh,
Right. So then, what was it like? So where did you end up staying? I don't remember. Did you stay at the Foreigner Team House while you were waiting, or where were you guys staying at?
They had us stay for the very first night,
because you were in Pyeongchang, right? You're not in Seoul, but
right.
Did you end up staying at the Foreigner Team House for a little bit?
No, I didn't. The only people who really did it were like after the tournament.
Right.
And I think like Eggs, who's on my team, also stayed there for WSG.
Okay.
Just because like the timing and stuff, like he didn't really need to get there that early. Like a lot of people got there very early, so like it wasn't really necessary. It was just kind of like media stuff, which you could do pretty fast anyways, because most of it's just like waiting for everybody else. So I think like Eggs and like Killzer were already there, and a lot of other people just went after the tournament. So I didn't actually go. I wasn't actually interested at all, to be honest, going to the team house, because I was like, like it's cool and all, but like I'd rather just like be at the tournament and then like sightsee if I'm free. So
right.
If I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna set like 4 months of time or something to really do it, not just like 2 weeks.
Right.
So yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, so where were you staying at then? Did they just like have you like in a hotel, I guess?
Yeah, like for the first night they couldn't get us to the one in Pyeongchang, because it was just kind of like, for example, I got there like really late, like 9 p.m. or something crazy. So like they just couldn't get everyone there at the same time, and with how everything ended up. So I ended up staying in a hotel in like, not Seoul, but like Incheon.
Okay.
So that was cool. And then the next night we went on this bus and we just went to Pyeongchang, which was like a really, really new hotel. Like we were like probably one of the first people to go in that room, like almost like too new. Like some stuff didn't work.
Right.
Like it was one of those things.
Right.
So yeah. But I mean, it was like the same exact like company or whatever. It was like Golden Tulip or something. So like it was still familiar because it's the first hotel in Incheon. So it was nice.
Sure.
But, yeah.
And then as far as like player practice, I mean, I know that they probably had like an area set up for you guys, you know, to do practicing. But like, what was like your regimen then? Because I'm sure you could come and go as you please, you know, and practice when you wanted to practice, right?
Yeah, usually like when I always thought of tournaments, I always kind of think of like Austin, DreamHack, like Montreal DreamHack, stuff like that, or like literally anything has like stuff just around. But this place was like a wedding banquet, and it was in the middle of nowhere. Like there was nothing here. Like you couldn't just go out and just do shit. So it was like you were literally just stuck in this place. I mean, there was stuff to do. They had like catering and stuff, which was like good. You know, it was actually like pretty decent catering. But like, yeah, it was like no fun stuff to do. Like you couldn't mess around. But like, you know, everyone kind of wanted to play anyways. Like people were complaining like for the first couple of days that they couldn't play. So I don't think anyone actually cared. But yeah, it wasn't like DreamHack Austin where like you walk out and there's like bars everywhere and stuff.
Sure, yeah, you're like you're in the downtown area. You can just go to, you know, there's a ton of stuff to do. Yeah,
like Pyeongchang's not that big anyways, but like it's really like spread out, and then the only like kind of big cities like Gangneung, and we weren't really near Gangneung at all. So yeah, so it's just kind of like you would get catering and snacks, and then you just play or stalk people. I just stalk people a lot. Like I just stare at the screen for hours and stuff, or laser. I alternate between both of them just because I'm like trying to suck the energy, you know, to leech the skill.
Right. You feel like if you stare at them long enough, you'll absorb some of that.
Yeah, I'll learn something eventually. Kind of helped, kind of didn't. I don't know if it was the best thing, but like, you know, just Korean ladder, like I don't think would have helped me that much. So I was mostly focused on like asking people stuff. Right. You know, I'm trying not to be annoying, you know, but like at the same time, I gotta know some of these things. Right. So it's kind of like, hey, what do you do when they 2-rax you in this map? And you know, and then I'll wait like 15 minutes, like, hey, what do you know, and I'll just do that. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of what I was focused on more than anything, to be honest.
Gotcha. What was like your bet? I guess what was the like your favorite thing about going to that? Like to just going to Korea in general, what was your favorite thing about it? And I know you got sick, so for half of it you were like, you couldn't even do anything. Yeah,
that must have hit me like at the second half of my trip though. I was like my extra week I stayed. So that kind of sucked. Right. But as far as like the tournament, it was like a really good experience. Like I was still sick at the tournament, but like it wasn't like the level that it ended up being, because I was like, oh man, I'm kind of sick, and then I kept getting worse. And I'm like, oh man, this is
I'm really sick.
Like, yeah, it keeps getting a little bit worse, and I'm like, how is this possible? So it was, yeah, the tournament was like a really good experience, and just being able to talk to people and stuff was cool. But I ended up going to the Olympics at one point.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, which I think was probably the best experience, because that was kind of when I was feeling better. It was like the last day I was there, and it was like USA versus like Slovenia, I think it was, which was funny because I didn't know it was Slovenia at the time, because I thought we booked for Slovakia. Like somehow we got the teams wrong. And like Slovenia's flag is almost exactly the same as Slovakia's. They just have like a little emblem in the middle with the same colors. And I was like, wait a second, is this Slovenia? I was there with like two of my buddies, and we're like, no, he said Slovakia.
Was that for curling?
No, it was hockey.
Oh, that was for hockey. Okay. Yeah, I want to say the same thing. I want to say the same thing happened for when we played them in curling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like something similar, like where we like. Whoever was announcing it, like, announced it as, like, the wrong, like, NBC.
Oh, the announcer got it wrong?
Yeah, like, they announced it as, like, the wrong thing.
That actually reminds me of a funny story. Like, when I landed in Korea, she's like, you know how the announcer, the girl will go, like, welcome to, you know, Dallas, Texas, or whatever, you know, enjoy your stay. She went, like, welcome to Incheon, North Korea. And then she went, ooh, like, she stopped. Like, I mean, South Korea. And then everyone, like, audibly cringed, and everyone starts looking around like, is this like,
where did we go? Did this fight get rerouted? Like,
it's like, what do we do here? Like, where do we go from this? Everyone was like, but that was funny. That's what it reminded me of.
Thanks for flying North Korean Air. Where did I get sent to?
Like, what's this plane?
Yeah.
Look at that guy here. You have to fight me to get me out of here.
That's funny. Yeah, like I thought this was
How-
Pyeongchang, not Pyongyang. Oh shit.
yeah. Some people were like making fun of me for that. Like, I'm going to Pyeongchang. Like, Pyongyang. You
Yeah.
can't go to North Korea. It's like
Uh,
the low hanging.
no, that's cool though. And obviously like the Olympics being there, like, and how it was, a part of the Olympics. I think that was a really cool way to incorporate it. Um, and I
And you
think
can feel it too. Like when I came out of the plane, like it was a guy or a girl with a sign looking for one of the Olympic athletes. Like it was just like you could see it everywhere. It was like the energy was totally different than a normal city.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there was, an absurd amount of foreigners there for the Olympics as well, traveling in Korea the first time, too. So, but I think it's important, right? Like to have like, and we obviously StarCraft 2 was like on like the Olympic webpage, like, and it's funny. So the other day, I guess it was maybe a little like a week ago or so. They were still talking about the Olympics, and the local sports radio was talking about how, and they actually mentioned StarCraft, right? They were like, "Oh, like here's what happened." Actually, they're like, they're saying esports is now getting involved with the Olympics, and like they all just immediately like, "Oh, that's so stupid," like da da da, and it's like, why is like how is it stupid? How is it any different, right? Like it's a country competing in something that they're great in, right? And I'm like, and I actually sent him an email, like kind of tearing him a new one. I'm like, it's the exact same thing as any other sport. Like you're good at it, you want to be the best country at it, and there was actually a huge upset in the fact that a Canadian won, right? And not only that, but it was a Canadian woman, and that's where it's like it's even separate. Like like regular Olympics, it's men's league, women's league, right?
Yeah.
In esports, there's there is, but for the most part, it's just like you just go head to head anyway. There's no.
Yeah, it's just open. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes it hard, right? Because we want the best of the best. And I actually thought that would be interesting. I actually thought that would be. I would be interested if that happened in the Olympics, right? Where if they stopped segregating it by race, and then just went by like best overall, right? Like literally like combine like the best players to make the best team possible,
Oh, like not have X people from countries kind of thing?
No. Just like if you have like for example, like let's say you have like the basketball team, right?
Right.
Like right. So like, but you have the men's and the women's, right? But let's say like 3 of the women are actually better than 3 of the men on the men's team. So like the American team would be like 3 men, 3 women. Like I just it would be
And for some sports, I could see that happening. Like there is some stuff.
Yeah.
Where that could happen. But yeah, that would be interesting. I don't know how much it would really affect though. Like a lot of the what's it called? The like for example, hockey. For example, I don't know if like women really get an edge. I'm not really sure on that stuff. But like, yeah, that'd be interesting.
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I think it's like esports is like it's almost harder though, right? Because like there's no like separate category. They have to compete. With just like everyone else does. So
yeah. Well, there's like it's all mental though, so it's like it really is different. But like people recognize chess as a sport though, and like people kind of forget that sometimes where it's like, well, you're not lifting or doing all this stuff. How's this a sport? But people still recognize chess as a sport. Like it's recognized by the Olympics, I'm pretty sure, as a sport.
I mean, I think anything that you can literally play competitive, if it's a game and you can play it competitively, it's technically some sort of a sport.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what we're getting into now, right? Like,
right. I mean, I'll argue that StarCraft is not a sport, but it is an e-sport, right? Like, same with chess. Like, I would argue that chess is not like a sport, but it's some sort of a, it is.
You're not like an e-sport though, so I don't know what you'd.
Yeah.
I think you just have to call it a sport.
Well, there's like weird things too, because like what was I seeing like the other day? They were talking. There was an article about that, right? There was an article about esports, and for some reason it had drone racing as a featured thing. I'm like, how the fuck is that an esport? That's not an esport. Like, that's just like that's no, like that's not.
I guess you're making like electronical,
I guess maybe, but like
it's a different take on it.
I guess you're right, but I'm just like to me it's like no, like that's not not at all, right? Like
yeah,
that's something
you think
totally
like
separate.
Computers and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a computer though, right?
Yeah, I guess maybe like yeah. Well, and I think some of them actually wear like a Vive to while they control
because to see it, that makes sense. Because otherwise it'd just be on the controller. That would suck.
To track, yeah, cool. Because you have to go through like I think you have to go through like hoops and stuff. I imagine like those old like fighter jet games and stuff where you had like fly through the hoop. you know, and like
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
something like
Yeah,
that.
it's like that, but like real life.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting a little off track. We'll pull it back in. But no, that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you were at least able to enjoy the Olympics while you were there. I think that's something that you definitely wouldn't want to, you know,
Yeah, it
pass
seems
up.
like a once in a lifetime, right?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like maybe you'd go to a different Olympics, but not in Pyeongchang, right? It's like the one time you can do that.
Right.
You know, well, there probably might be one if they're, you know, if they ever do Korea again for the Winter Olympics, they'll probably do Pyeongchang. But you know, who knows when that'll happen because it's all random, right? How they pick those.
Yeah, I don't know how they pick it. I know it's way in advance though.
Yeah, I think it's like a raffle or something. I don't actually know for sure. No, to actually say that. But
So whoever gives the most money to the U.S. or to the Olympic Committee.
Yeah, well, under table, yeah. You know,
that's
allegedly.
How it's really decided.
Yeah,
a raffle.
Yeah, it's all random. Everything's fair.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like this is one of those things where it's like, you know, how many times am I going to do this? So I had to do it because it's like 99% of the expenses are already paid for in some way. So all I have to do is get the ticket, you know.
Right.
So it's only like $100-something, which is nothing compared to like the flight. You know, Jesus, the flight would be easily 1,000. You know. Like,
oh yeah, easy.
Like maybe if I caught it at a weird season, I could get it for maybe like 900. I've heard people tell stories of that, but like, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna see the Olympics, right? So
yeah, I will mention right now to anyone that's interested in going to Korea, I checked flights not too long ago, and like flights in September right now are only like $800, at least from where I'm at, and that's probably a lot farther from where you guys are at. So
yeah, for like Los Angeles, it's probably a little bit better.
yeah, so if you guys ever wanted to go to like a GSL, like I would recommend this be the year and buy early. You know, the earlier you can buy, those cheaper those tickets are. Because $800 round trip is a good fucking deal to go to Korea in my mind. I mean, that's how much I paid to go to the Netherlands for my honeymoon. You know, granted that was for the both of us, so that was actually a pretty good deal too. It ended up being
that is a pretty good deal. Damn.
It was actually a misprint. It was supposed to be way more expensive than that, but they honored it. Right? They're like, "Oh, you already paid for it. We'll let you have it." I was like, "Oh, sick."
Oh, so like they caught it, or did you tell them? You were like, "Oh, you messed up."
They caught it. Because like after we bought it, they sent us an email like, "Listen, this was a typo. Like it was not supposed." Because we like bought it like from like a different website, you know.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, yeah, like we, you know, but they're like, but, you know, and because I said, well, I was like, oh, you know, I saw a good. Because when I replied to them, you know, to that email, I was like, well, listen, you know, this was for my honeymoon. Yeah, I saw a good deal. I wanted to get a good deal, and they're like, all right, we'll let you have it for, you know, for $800. We'll just do it. So it's pretty fucking nice.
That's pretty good, man.
So
you gotta keep that airline.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was Delta, but like, it was through like a third party like booker, and so they were like selling the tickets, and now they had it like mispriced. But
yeah, I know it's
anyway.
double. Yeah.
But yeah, you guys should definitely go to Korea this year if you wanted to. Obviously, for like I said, for $800 round trip, that's a pretty good deal. But
September's not too bad either.
Right, exactly. So yeah, so you went to the Olympics. What else did you end up? Were you end up able to do anything else? I know, like you said, you were sick, and there wasn't a whole lot to do in Pyeongchang anyway. Did you eat any Korean food? Did you get to enjoy anything like that?
I had a ton of Korean barbecue, especially because I was with Probe a lot, and Probe, if you don't know, sick or not sick, but allergic to like something that's on everything. Yeah, it's like it's not everything, but it's something on everything. So it's like, you know, it's like, can you eat this? He's like, no. I'm like, what about this? No, we're just, and like, we were like next to the ocean, you know, because it's like kind of off the coast. And so we're like walking, you know, across like, must have been like 15 seafood places. And like, can you even eat seafood? He's like, no, I can't eat any of this. Like, why are we here? Like, this is clearly all seafood. Like, we're just freezing because it's like windy and stuff. Yeah. Like, that was weird about Pyeongchang was that it wasn't cold, it was just really windy. So like it just kind of pissed me off because it was like, you know, in my eyes all the time, and it wasn't like snowy and nice. It was just like dead looking and windy. You know, it was just like the worst kind of cold. Like there wasn't anything fun about it. You know, It's like people from Wisconsin are like, when I think of cold, I just think of snow and like, you know, your car's buried and stuff. It was just like dead trees and wind. I was just like, this sucks. I brought boots for this, you know, like I was expecting really bad stuff, but like, like, so I had a ton of Korean barbecue the first week, like a ton, and then I didn't know it at the time, but by the time I actually got out of Pyeongchang and went to Seoul for my second week there, like my taste buds had totally changed. So I was like, man, Korean food tastes super weird. And I just thought, that's just different, But as soon as I came back home from America, the first thing I ate, I was like, oh my God, it's not Korea. It's just me. Like, I just thought that it was just like, it's just like everything's so weird. Like pork doesn't taste like pork. It tastes like something else, I'm like, is it because of the cut or something? Like, it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't get to enjoy as much as I wanted to, because that was, like, what everyone talks about is, like, the food, right? Like,
yeah.
People go to Korea just for the food,
So, I mean, I'm not going to say that's, that's not a reason why I want to go to Korea.
Yeah, I wouldn't just go for the food, because, I actually, like, could go to GSL or, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, like, I know a lot of people, I've heard that. So it's just, it was kind of a bummer that I didn't get to try more things in that case. But for some reason, Korean barbecue tasted exactly the same, no matter how far into the trip I was. So it's sick proof for some reason.
Yeah.
By the time I realized that, I was like, oh, I'm already sick of this, because I've been eating this all week with Probe.
This is all he apparently can digest.
Yeah, it was just like pork belly or something. It was just like, oh, yeah, it was like samgyeopsal. I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
I can only have so much of this food. So yeah.
No, it sounds like you had a great time. Like you said, minus being sick. Do you feel like you've gotten better since attending IEM? Did you feel like you got a lot out of it?
Yeah, but more in the knowledge in some ways, because it was a lot of asking questions and stuff. Like, I didn't really play a ton, just because I knew I could do that whenever I wanted. But asking really good players questions is not something you can do every day. Even if you have them added, it's really hard to get answers. Like, you have to really be strategic about it. Like, for example, if you message them at the time that they're asleep, they'll never answer you.
Right.
Like, ever. So what you have to do is you have to think, okay, what's their sleep schedule and their time zone? Are they awake right now? And then you ask them, and then you'll have a chance that they'll actually respond. And you just have to do that all the time. And some of these people, it's like, wait, are they in Korea right now? It's like
I don't know where they are.
You got to think about it. And it's like, I don't want to annoy people, because I feel bad when I ask too many questions. So
Sure.
I'm always like, let's do once a week or something. But at Lands, I'm just nonstop if I can. As long as I can think of a good question, I'll ask it. So it's really a time for me to unload whatever. But in a way, it kind of was bad timing, because it would be kind of stuff that applied to the new patch with the Hydra change and stuff at the time.
Yeah.
And it was kind of well, I just came back from Leipzig, I think it was, and they were like, well, I don't know, I haven't really practiced with this, so I don't even know, or they just kind of have what they were doing, but it might not be the best. They weren't even sure,
Yeah.
So that was kind of a problem at some points, where I was like, well, is this even good? Should we even be rushing Hydras anymore? And they were like, well, I don't think so, but I don't know. And I think at this time, Cyril was saying how he hates Hydras and he doesn't even want to use them anymore. But then at Katowice, he was using them a lot. So it's it seems like that changed now.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of first impressions, and their first impression's better than mine. But at the same time, it might change in a day. That's all it takes.
Sure, someone figures something out that works well, or it's just adapting, right? So one thing changes, it opens up new avenues for other things, right?
Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff like that, but at the same time, there was a lot of stuff that wasn't, where it was stuff I've been having problems with for months, and I thought I had the right answer, but it was kind of it's always just to confirm. I don't really have the confidence to know 100% without asking anybody. So I always want to be well, is this the best thing, or is it this? And then they'll tell me, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now I know for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, no, it's amazing that you've had an amazing opportunity. Obviously, being picked up by the the new team Meliora, and then obviously being able to travel to IEM. And I know you it seems like we have a pretty busy schedule, right? Because you have, what is next week, the Chicagoland?
Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow, I think it is. Yeah, I'm gonna be road tripping it.
Yeah, that's
Chicago.
That's this weekend, right? And that's for a smaller one, but that's still that will still be fun and put on by Midwestland. But then we also have Cheesadelphia, Chicago. You saw that was announced too, right?
Yeah, it's July, right?
Yeah, I think end of July, so only a month after Austin, we'll be back in Chicago.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna definitely try for that. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to go, but don't want to guarantee anything, right?
Well, let me know, because I'm gonna go, so I could probably help you get down there if you needed it.
Yeah, we can like bunk up or something. Figure
Yeah,
out like an Airbnb or something.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
There's some places that are close by, so no,
yeah,
and that should be fun. Obviously, like cheese, it was even bigger this year, so that'll be amazing. We have Austin, in just like 3 months now. I know that's what we're all pretty hyped and training for right now.
yeah. It's got a while until it actually hits, but yeah, that's what everyone's aiming for.
I mean, it'll sneak
'Cause-
up on us if we're not careful. It's one of those things where if you don't
yeah,
keep an eye on the calendar,
that happens, man.
you know,
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna go fast, I think.
yeah,
So
definitely.
it's cool.
Well, let's change gears. Let's talk about just some general community stuff, some community news, and then we'll talk some GSL and kind of what happened at Katowice. First thing I wanted your opinion on is what do you think of, and this is I feel like it's kind of stroking my own ego, but it's not. But what do you think of Scythe Esports becoming like a real official StarCraft 2 team as well as Rise Esports? In the combination of 1F and Rival. Like, what do you think of like? I guess since that's like took two teams, right, and it made them into one.
Yeah,
But I feel like at the same time it made like it was like kind of like the same thing. Like it took them from like more of like a not casual because 1F has like really good players and started
yeah. They
Rival.
had some WCS guys. Yeah,
But I feel like but it just like upgraded it, right? It's like I feel like it
yeah.
went from like a B tier team to like an A tier team, right? Like I feel like okay, like if you compete now, like you're on par with like a Storm or like something like that.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know if like Sidestorm, but like they definitely upgraded, and it's kind of funny because I always thought of Rival and 1F like as like the two biggest teams in NA,
Hmm.
and like now they're together, so they're like the mega team, right?
Yeah, I
Like
think
they have
they
so
have
many people.
30. I think it's 32 players on the roster between like their pro team and like their B team or whatever.
Right. I was wondering how they would organize that because I kind of asked before it was announced, and it wasn't really clear because I was asking like one of the players, so they didn't really know,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, how's that gonna be? How are they gonna do that? Like, are they kicking people, or like, how much are they gonna do? 'Cause some people were just like, I want to be, as small of a roster as possible. Want to be very concise, but they just put them on a B team, huh?
yeah. I think it's either that or like I don't want to misspeak because I don't know, but I know that
Yeah.
they're all part of the same team, but like there's like a pro team or like the A squad and like maybe like a B squad or like an academy team or something like that. There's some sort of
Yeah.
a separate team,
Yeah. I'm more interested just as somebody who's been in a team that's in the past that's been merged with another. Like, how is the management going to deal with stuff? Because I feel like that's always the first to fail is the management, where it's like someone
Sure.
disagrees with something. Because I'm assuming that they're sharing money, and one person has a little bit, the other guy has a little bit, and they're putting it together to
Yeah.
invest into something big that they wouldn't be able to reach normally. And it's like, well, if they can't reach an agreement,
Yeah.
like that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
So and there's a lot of people in the management if they're combining both of their management teams, because I assume
Right.
everyone kind of has a say, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm not for sure. I know that I think Expired is technically the owner, right? From
Right.
he still is like the lead man, but I think Kaboosh went to being like the active the general manager for the team. So, but I don't know what their hierarchy looks like. Like I don't know if like
Yeah.
that's what it is on paper, but like in actuality, like they have like
Yeah, a
the
lot of
same-
times those don't really mean much. Like on
Right.
Wikipedia, they'll just
Yeah.
kind of put anything on those sometimes.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that's accurate. That's what I'm going off
Yeah,
of at least.
yeah, it's all we can go off.
Right, yeah. And
Yeah.
as far as like for myself, it's like okay, well, it's like I'm like the team manager, slash owner,
Yeah,
and then I have Taylor as like the player coach, like
Right.
he's a player, but then he's also like kind of our coach.
Yeah, it
You know
kind of
what I
helps
mean?
out random stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And while he's still competing, he's like Penguin, right? Like Penguin like still plays in like pretty much everything, but he's the
Right.
coach. It doesn't mean he doesn't play, but he's
Well,
always
so what does coach mean to you though? Like, because I know some coaches are like someone that's like in his position. I feel like would like help clan wars, like organize stuff. Is it kind of like that, or is it just like help the players with
Yeah.
stuff specifically?
No, I feel like it's definitely more like help the players out, like helping them out, like if they have questions, like, hey, I'm really having a problem with this, like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Someone to bounce ideas off of and just kind of to be able to help out, like, because obviously, like, Taylor plays at a very high level and understands the game at the highest level. I do not. I can still give feedback, like, hey, I saw this, comparing it, to everything that I watch, But I mean, I feel like his input's way more important than my own. So it's I'm glad to have someone like that on the team. And obviously, you can always bounce it off each other, as other players in the team. But I feel like if you have like that one person that's like slotted to be like the coach, I feel like that that carries a little more weight.
Yeah, better him than you, right? Because fucking, you don't have time to study StarCraft meta,
Well, yeah,
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean it's been a lot of work. I mean, since going from like Dank Train Pro to Scythe Esports.
Yeah, just that is a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah, like getting everything because it's a registered LLC. Like I own like the rights to that naming because like there's been like teams that have used the name in the past, and as far as I could tell, there was nothing current. But so I bought like all the legal rights to that name.
Yeah, that's the first thing you got to do.
Yeah, and like for our website and everything, so that's all registered now. We have the domain name and all that stuff. So, and it's been a lot of work. And it's not going to stop, obviously, because we're trying to do other stuff. Like right now, we're working like on a Rocket League roster right now because we want to be able to compete in multiple esports. So, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying with StarCraft. I don't know shit about Rocket League, but lucky enough, I have a friend who's like a casual GM in that game, and he's already like a coach for like a team right now, and he's like, kind of want to just do my own thing right now. I'm like, hey, like let's just team up on this. Like, it just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about pissing off management or something. Yeah.
Sure, and I don't want to. And the community is like, oh, you're getting into other games, you're leaving us. And it's like, well, no, not really. No, like this is their, like no, I'm not. So.
Well, what's the idea behind like the name change though? Is that just like a branding thing? Like.
Yeah. So like Dank Shrine, obviously is a great name.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty awesome. But from a marketing aspect and like trying to get sponsorships, that is not a good fucking name. Like, I mean, if we were in like Denver and I could like get some like local dispensaries to sponsor us, even though that's not what it is, I could probably like spin that to make it work.
Yeah, you can stretch it.
Yeah. But the other way around, like trying to convince like sponsors that it's like that's not what it is, or it's like I don't care, like it's got the word dank in it, like don't like it. So just coming from a marketing aspect, it's going to be much easier to just like for branding and stuff. Plus, we're able to keep the logo, change the color. It's still a dope logo. It still makes sense. It just still makes sense with the name, which I'm like I said, teams have used it in the past, but I was kind of surprised that no one was like actively using it because I feel like Scythe is like that's like a good name for like an esports team. You know what I mean?
It seems like something like someone would have had already. Like I was surprised that like people had it, but. It's inactive, right? So I'm surprised it's not a thing still.
The biggest thing I found that of someone using it, there was a Dota team that used it in like 2012 to like 2014, and they actually won like a shitload of money. But then they disbanded like right after 2014. They were like from Vietnam, so it's like, well, I know I don't have to worry about like any type of a copyright since I own like the name legally like in the U.S. and we're based out of the U.S. I don't have to worry about anything like that.
Yeah.
So
got a gas there.
Yeah, but it was just just interesting, but and that's what I'm trying to do stuff. I don't want to make this about me, but I'm trying to do stuff like a little bit different too, with that whole thing and having the keeping the team. I want to keep the team small. That's my whole goal is I want to be able to have the guys be able to focus and work with each other because I feel like that's a problem with a lot of the larger teams. I feel like people get forgotten and get lost. Yeah,
everyone's just kind of on their own.
Yeah,
feels like 1v1 in every aspect, even if you're on a team.
Yeah, exactly. Are we planning on getting the Terran called Scythe? If we ever do a European expansion, then I told him he would be my first call. We'll see how he does it. We'll see how he does at Nation Wars. I voted for him for Nation Wars, so if he competes, we'll see how he does.
I didn't think he was that active. I thought it was just kind of like he got voted in like every time, so people kind of recognize him. But I didn't think he was actually like playing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what level he currently plays. I think I don't even know if he's a current GM, but I know. I know he has been, obviously.
Right, you have to be in like the last 2 years, right? 2017, 2018. So yeah, definitely good. But like, I don't know. Some people just kind of stop playing for a long time. You just don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, like I said, it's just kind of cool. I wanted to do and the reason why the second reason why the change was just wanted to be like I just wanted to do more. Like it was kind of like you with like I felt like something like needed to change. Like the show like wasn't progressing and it hasn't progressed like as much as I've liked it to do, but I don't want to stop it. I'm not gonna quit, but it's like but I want to do more then. Like I want to like it feels like I want to make my mark in esports and in StarCraft too, right? And since I've already like worked so hard, it makes sense.
It'd be bad to go.
Well, I just want to work
after all
harder.
that.
Like I don't want to leave the community, you know. But at the same time, like if I just need to pivot to do more stuff, then I'll do that, you know. But like I said, it's not going to affect the show at all. Like I mean, we've done, you know, more episodes. I know. Spoilers: next week we're going to have back on Root Hero, so that'll be a good show.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So you know,
It's a promotion for Nation Wars.
Yeah. So we'll
Get those votes.
Exactly. So we'll still do that. You know, we'll still be doing the show. You know, every week, and still doing like live stuff at events too. But you know, it's just like I just wanted to do more and do more for the community.
Yeah, as long as that doesn't spill into over into anything like making stuff harder to do, then might as well give it a shot. Like, because that's always the thing I think of. It's not like, oh, he's going to stop doing this other thing, but it's going to get worse, right? I think that's like the most common fear for a lot of people who watch. It's like, oh, maybe he won't be able to keep up. But if that's not a problem, then it's like, then you want to do it, then why not?
Yeah.
I see the outside.
Well, like I said, and maybe that might have been the case, if I was the one that was like trying to, start the Rocket League stuff and getting involved with that, But since I have people for that, it's like no, like I'm like my focus is still in StarCraft. I have more of a focus, maybe on my players and like what's going on with them and making sure everything's good with them. But it's like I'm still watching everything. I'm still like getting as much content as I can, and keeping up with everything in the scene anyway. So now, if anything, it'll probably just be a little bit more. I'll probably be paying a little harder attention now to the, to the eight, instead of like the top teams like Psystorm and stuff, we'll be paying more attention because we'll be competing in like team leagues and stuff, so I'll probably even have a little more focus on that, and so I feel like that'll be good. That's more like the root community, or not, well, you know what I mean. Not the team root, but the grassroots community.
Yeah, kind of that lower level, that kind of mid tier.
Yeah.
Kind of teams and stuff.
Yeah, and we have the potential, obviously, if, for a couple of our guys to compete, like like Volts is like WCS, or Cicada now, which I hate that name, but.
oh yeah, I forgot Cicada now. I hate when people change their names. I would never change my name just because I know it's so annoying.
Right.
So it's like, I just can't do it. It's like when Lucero was Kong Ho, like no one even called him Kong Ho, and then like for a week people did, and then he switched back.
Or like special and major, like the people are still struggling with that one, even though this has been like, whatever.
You'll always be princess to me.
Yeah, Anna Prosser for me. I mean, that was the best one.
Oh, did you have Anna Prosser? I never saw that one.
Yeah, that was back in like I think that was like end of Wings or maybe like early Hots.
Oh man, he had so many weird names.
He's a good memer.
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, so let's talk about some of the other community stuff right now. So I'm gonna change my overlay, and of course it didn't have the right. Oh wait, no.
Production value.
Right. It says it's screen capping Skype, but apparently it's not here. I'll add you in. But anyway, the next thing I want to get into here is talking about the next community patch, or the next patch that they're proposing for like Zerg, and then for Terran.
So, like is that the Overlord drop and layer?
Yeah. So so now we're gonna need to get layer tech, just to get dropper lords. So
yeah, I kind of got PTSD because I saw that patch, and then like I had to download a patch. So like, oh shit, I got jolted back. Like, does it already happen? Like, is the war over? I didn't know what happened.
What year is it? Yeah.
I don't even know what that patch was for still. Like, I have no idea. Like, is this a bug fix or something? I don't know. But, yeah, there's a lot. It's just a really weird patch. I think, like, I don't think anyone knows why they're patching, like, anything they're patching, besides, like, the Viking thing, because that was talked about in, like, the balance talk thing with, like, the guys in Korea. I think that was mentioned at one point. At least I've been told. So that's probably the only one where, like, people know where they're coming from.
Right.
But if you just want to go, like, step by step, like the Zerg one, like I'm not sure who's losing to these Overlord drop builds, but I don't know why. Like I feel like I have seen it, but I've seen it like in like OSC Masters Cup, like Proxy Tempest, stuff like that. But I can't really recall like when someone like lost like a big game to that. Like, I really need an example. Like, I know that Scarlet's done it to SOS and Zest, and I haven't seen the Zest games, but the ones with SOS were terrible. Like, SOS is really not that good at ZDP. Like the reason why he gets far in tournaments is because he keeps playing PvPs and PvPs. Like
Right.
he doesn't win because he's a PvZ player. And like every time I watch him, I'm like, ugh, like why are you placing your buildings there? Like everything just seems so bad and sloppy and stuff. And I mean, I know it's like hard to criticize SOS and stuff, but you don't have to be amazing to see like mistakes. And so it's like when I saw those games, people using those examples, I was just like, this seems really like diamond players, are complaining or something. So I really don't understand because like there's like the hatch gas pool double overlord drop into the main, and then like that's just like pure ling, and like that isn't really a problem because you just camp an oracle. Like as long as you go oracle, you auto defend.
Right.
And as like far as like just harassing with hatch gas pool into like one overlord drop, you just sit 2 adepts there. You just have to go 3 adept every game basically. And like I don't know what else there is. I've heard there's like a 14-14 thing maybe. I've heard, but I haven't seen it ever. And like the one Scarlet did in versus SOS on Backwater was like 16 gas, 16 pool, or like 17, 16, something like that. And like that wasn't very good. He like put his shield battery in like a random spot, his pylon in a random spot. He should have just put it in his mirror line.
Right.
And like his wall was kind of weird. Like he didn't. I forgot if it was like he messed up his Stargate wall and he like had to cancel it, and then he just didn't make an oracle. Like it was just like really bad. Like I don't think anyone should use that game as an example if it's like actually imbalanced, because I just don't see it. But like maybe it's just me being like the type of player that doesn't use these builds, so I'm just like super biased. But I don't know. It just seems super random to me. It really feels like a dark time in balance where Reddit can actually determine what gets patched.
Yeah, definitely. And then the Raven, the anti-armor missile thing too as well.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's like Terrans are like, what? This was like all we had.
For like 2 weeks. Like, I mean, it might have been good, but like maybe not that strong. Like to nerf it that hard. Like maybe nerf it a little bit and just like tweak or something. But they went super hard.
Right.
Like 2 weeks later.
Right. Well, like, see, and now like the Viking thing seems a little more reasonable, right? Like going from 125 to 135 for health. It's like okay, like that's a little tweak. Like that's not like a huge like. No, like you like with the Raven thing and it's like completely changing like an entire section of the late game meta for Terran.
Yeah, because it's like Terran doesn't like really do well versus Zerg in late game, but like they don't die because it's like their comp is like super campy. They just like ghost nuke you over and over again, and like hope they get a random nuke and win. So it's like they don't die, but they don't really win. And then like the Ravens kind of what mixes it up, where like if they get a hella crazy mess all off, and they can do stuff.
Well,
it's like
it's too because like Terran late game units are all really slow. Like throws like aren't fast and they're hard to get around the map. Whereas like Ravens at least give you some mobility, right? Like,
because in the air you're not going to worry about tripping on turrets and stuff at least.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's nowhere near Sky Toss though.
Right.
Like Sky Toss is way worse than this, at least for the Zerg matchup. Like, so it's weird that it happened this fast. I think a lot of people are super weirded out by this.
Is it also weird that nothing got changed for Protoss? Like I feel like there's still been like a shitload of complaints about like how like still overpowered like Protoss is right now. And then
that's
it's like
the weirdest.
And then it's like, no, it's fine. We're gonna change everything else. And it's like, what? Like I don't understand the thought process here.
Yeah, because like I know a lot of Zergs who are like, well, it's okay. I didn't really use overy drop anyways. It's fine. And I know a lot of Terrans who are like, I don't even use Ravens that much. It's fine. But then it always comes back to, but why didn't they do anything to Protoss shield batteries or Chrono Boost? Chrono Boost, especially for like Terran players. All want to know what's up with the Chrono Boost, right. And like I think a lot of Zergs just want shield battery to not be as good because we're getting tilted over Lings killing no probes. But like for TVP, like it looks terrible from what I've seen. I'm no pro in TVP though, so I don't want to comment too much. But like it looks bad. Like it really looks hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
There needs to be something.
Definitely harder than it should be, right? Like where it's like. I don't know, and they want to talk about like not forcing you on, like how they like, oh, we don't want them to have to take like certain avenues and have to do certain builds versus certain comps, and it's like, but I feel like that's exactly what you're doing by doing this. It's like you're just forcing people down like a single track.
Yeah, because like I don't know. Whenever there's been a race that had different avenues, it's always been the imbalanced one because there's never been like three races that have options in every matchup, right?
Right.
So it's like usually it's like one, maybe two that have like two options, and like they just destroy because like that's such an advantage in like a tournament series to have two options of any comp and stuff, and like they're totally different responses. So it's like it's great to go for that like dream where you know have two options for every race and everyone has for every matchup and stuff. But like the reality is like if you give one race two options, you're just making that race imbalance unless you also change something else about the other race they're affecting. And it's like with these patches, I only see them eliminating options, honestly.
Yeah.
Like Terran only had late game to go for in ZVT, and now they might not even have that. I don't know how a lot of people feel about Raven in ZVT, but like, and then like all the Zergs who were trying to play aggressive and really trying to play like that kind of droppy thing. I mean, like it wasn't even that good before, but now they can't all in anymore.
Right.
It's completely gone. You know, so I don't know.
No, just like I said, it just makes it harder. You know.
Yeah.
So.
It's too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. What did you think of IEM? Like, what did you think of the finals? Did you think that Rogue was going to win?
I was really hoping in the semis that Mario would win because the memes would have been great. Honestly, like there was so many memes. You know, like can you imagine if Terran won after like all the complaining? It would have been great. You know, even if it was just a fluke, it would have been funny. So after the semis, I was kind of bummed out, but you know, I was like, oh, okay, we can get a Zerg in there. You know, I'm like the only person who cheers for the race because I don't care about the patches. Every other person's like, please, Rogue, lose. Right. We need better patches. Like, just take one for the team, man. But I was happy that he won, and I thought he would win too because Classic, I kind of put in the same category as SOS, where it's like not really a PvZ player, right. Even though he fucking murked Cyril.
Well, I did not see that coming. I honestly thought Cyril, yeah. I honestly thought it was going to be a Cyril Rogue finals. Like I thought it was going to be ZVZ finals again, and I was like, I think Cyril could like potentially win too, like right because Cyril's so strong, and then he got totally bopped.
Yeah, he got like unlucky and stuff. And there was like a lot of weird stuff that happened. Yeah, but like still like in a best of 5 to get like swindled like that, it's kind of crazy. Like. It doesn't happen that often. Like a best of 3, it's like, oh yeah, you just kind of got bad luck at the draw. But it was best of 5, 3-0. You just kind of got like weird. Like third game was kind of legit, but like first 2 games was kind of like weird, and it's like, what's going on?
Right. And then we had the finals where Rogue bops Classic 4-0, and it was like honestly, like I think that was one of the most boring to watch finals. Like I think the Rogue versus Maru set was like the highlight of that day.
Yeah, the Rogue vs. Mario was like the best series because it was back and forth.
Yeah, it was super scrappy. Yeah, but like so boring, like a 4-0, like in the finals. Like Classic, I felt like just kind of played like a potato, like was making like silly mistakes, like not scouting out, you know, things that he should have, just like making like weird decisions too.
Yeah, that's like the weird thing about Koreans. It's like they're super high level mechanically, but they'll make weird decisions, and it's like, are they just like so ahead of the meta that like. You know, like you're just like 3 steps ahead, so it's like we think he's an idiot, you know?
Yeah.
It happens sometimes where it's like, oh, what's going on here? So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say what was going on there. It was just a bad day.
Yeah.
Even the Rogue vs. Mario wasn't even that high level, but it was just because they were both losing workers and stuff and counterattacking that it was still fun.
Yeah, it was at least scrappy. Like, you know, it was you know, back and forth. You know, and those types of games are always the most fun to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, but yeah, Rogue winning, obviously, like now, you know, is this the first time that someone's a back-to-back, or not back-to-back, but I guess a BlizzCon and then an IEM champion? Is it the first time that this has happened?
I don't actually know. That'd be an interesting statistic to look up, like how many people have gone from BlizzCon to immediately winning another premiere. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
There's a lot of history to go check on for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember because I mean,
maybe like the most money in like a month, you know. Yeah. Maybe something like that, or not a month, but you know, like in this much of time span, like probably the most money anyone's ever gained from a tournament, at least. You know.
Yeah, something like that, definitely.
It's like $300K or something.
Yeah.
In a couple months. It's insane.
So, but I mean, obviously, like the entirety of IEM though was great. Like they really stepped up like the production value of everything. Like I think it was one of the more. I think to date it was. I enjoyed. It's been the most enjoyable tournament that I watched live, like while not being there.
Yeah, like sitting at home.
Like, yeah, because like obviously like, being at the events is different. Like it's not the same atmosphere. But this was definitely the most entertained I've been while watching a premier event. Like there wasn't like a ton of downtime. Like they had like everyone was having fun and stuff. Like the production value was great. Like I just overall it was an amazing job. I think Apollo outdid himself. For this one.
Yeah, even like at Pyeongchang, I really felt like, man, this guy's intense. Like really serious about everything he does. But obviously, everyone's serious about what they do. But like he really took the details, with just like the little like videos and stuff. For example, that's something no one's done since like the BlizzCon series and stuff. So it's just like little details he would just put in there. And I think it really showed in Katowice too, with like the production and yeah, they have a good team, man. Because I think it's like mostly a Polish team they have, so they're probably feeling pretty good being in Katowice. They didn't have to fly like a couple thousand miles, So yeah, I really liked it too. But I didn't watch like too much of the mainstream, to be honest. I just kind of heard that the production like downtime was really good. Like I could see a bit, but like I was mostly just laughing whenever I saw the like Pringles plus Bluetooth speaker thing as a giveaway. I was like, that's like the funniest giveaway thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I was just cracking up whenever I saw that.
No, I was a little disappointed. This is the first major event too that I didn't get to watch live. Like I had to the majority of it I had to watch VODs because I was working, and where I work now, like before I wasn't able to necessarily like watch it. But I could listen to it, I could have, some headphones in. And, our commentators our commentators do such a great job of being descriptive. It's like you can follow along even if you're not.
Yeah, they kind of do a play-by-play.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it kind of got me wondering. I wonder if there are any blind StarCraft 2 fans.
It could be, because like I feel like StarCraft is like the only game that really does play-by-play like that. Like, I don't think it would really work in, like, League of Legends, would it? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's tough, though, because, like, a blind person doesn't know, like, the layout of the map.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But I feel like the commentators still do a good job of, like, describing, like, where, like, the engagements are taking place, though.
Right? Yeah. It kind of depends on the tournament. Like, cause some tournaments, they'll kind of keep a special mind for, like, the newer players. So they'll kind of describe, like, oh, this is a certain kind of map. So maybe that would help in those times, but it doesn't really happen that often.
Yeah.
Really
just kind of one of those interesting thoughts, though.
Yeah, I think it would work for only StarCraft or maybe like CS:GO. I don't know.
I think that would be hard too.
Yeah, like League of Legends, I don't think they do any play-by-play from what I remember, but I don't really watch League that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
So.
But I can say, for some reason, if I ever went blind, I would not stop being a StarCraft fan. Like I would listen. I would listen.
Insurance.
I would listen to every broadcast that I possibly could.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because they do, like I said, they just do such a good job. So
yeah, they have a good team. They're probably exhausted too because they went from Korea to Katowice. They're probably sick of casting by now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all the same guys.
And so apparently SOS was the first time to do it. The first person to do it. He won 2013 BlizzCon and then 2014 IEM World Championship. So fun fact: Jin Air is the only team to have back-to-back players do it and have the only players to do it.
Damn.
So that's the fun fact right there.
Yeah, Jin Air's was secretly the best, and no one knew it. Yeah. People didn't hype up Jin Air that much. It was all about SKT and stuff.
Right.
And then now that Jin Air is the only one left, they're like, man, Jin Air's actually sick.
Right. The best. So I actually do have some other news and kind of something funny to show you guys. If you haven't seen it, Isaac, do you have the stream open?
No, but I kind of get this feed from your Skype. Is this the same?
Yeah. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. So go ahead and just open the stream and just mute it so that you can see what I'm about to show everyone. It's something funny that I saw. It was an article on Kotaku about IEM. It has nothing to do with It has nothing to do with StarCraft, but. So apparently during a winner's interview during a CS game, in the background there was two fans that are making out really hard, but they're also, it looks like they're giving each other hand jobs.
Yeah, I think I've seen this before. Yeah.
So if you guys didn't get a chance to that, and what's funnier is like
The guy next to him.
I'm gonna link this so everyone can see this. Yeah, what's hilarious about it is not only that the fact that they're doing that, but the fact that no one gives a shit, and I feel like just no one notices, like no one cares, and also just no one seems to notice that that's what's going on.
I feel like the guy next to him knows, but he just doesn't want to say anything.
He doesn't want to look. He doesn't want to be that guy.
Yeah, he's like, I just want to watch a CS game. I don't have time for this. Imagine that's like his buddy. It's like, man, I bring you out to public for once and fucking this is what you do.
I told you not to bring your girlfriend, bro. Like this, I knew this was gonna happen.
It's like, this happens every time we go out somewhere.
God damn it.
He just looks so pissed off to me.
Yeah, he does.
I feel like you would have to know, right? Like yourself.
But yeah, there was something I saw pop up that was super funny. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that, and I'm happy that wasn't our community. So,
the CS games, man, make you feel something.
Yeah, just those wholesome, CS fans. But yeah, lastly, let's talk about GSL because it actually starts back up tomorrow.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. Felt like I was like, man, when's GSL gonna start? And now that it's finally starting, I'm just like, oh my god.
So and obviously we have sick finals here. So we've got Scarlet versus Sue. That'll be for tomorrow. Is it tomorrow?
I believe so.
It's like, or is it Friday night? I can't remember. It's
technicalities. It's like tomorrow, but like technically not tomorrow.
Technically, it's in 1 day and 9 hours. So I think that's actually Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Okay, so that'll be Friday. So we got like 2 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on Friday, and that will be for Scarlet and Sue. So I think that's the one I think obviously most of the foreigners are looking forward to. Obviously, like Scarlet being like the last foreigner, and being if she can move on into the semis, it'll be the first time a foreigner has done that since season 3 of GSL in 2011, which was Jinro, was the last person to get there, and he did it twice. And he did it back-to-back seasons, back-to-back season open season 2, open season 3, and lost both times to MC, who ended up both times winning the finals, I think.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to break that record because that's like the best anyone's ever done, right?
Yeah, round of 4 is the best anyone's ever gotten for a 4.
And he actually qualified like through the bracket or through the qualifiers and stuff, like legit. He didn't get seeded in, right?
I don't remember, to be honest, if he got seeded in, but still, he had to play through open bracket though, or he still had to play from like the round of 32 up.
Oh, okay. So I forget how the format was back.
So even if he did it, like he still got there, like just like everyone else.
I mean, he still got like that far.
He didn't get seeded into the round of 4. Like, all right, like here you go.
Yeah. That's true.
But I don't know. What do you think of that matchup though? Just Scarlet versus Sue.
I don't know. Whenever I watch Scarlet ZVZ, I'm like super not sure about it. It seems like super like part of it I really like, part of it I really don't like. Mm-hmm. Like I really like the metas. I'm really big on the metas right now. So like I really like when she does that, but at the same time the way she plays metas is super greedy. And there's like tons of odds of her playing ZVZ right now. So it's like super easy for Sue to just prep for that. So I don't really know what Scarlet's going to do, to be honest, because if she does the same thing she's always been doing, I feel like she's going to die to a lot of stuff. Yeah. It's like a lot of really greedy kind of stuff. And then, like, I think it's kind of just... I think it's a really good style for, like, playing tournaments. You kind of have to be, like, volatile.
Right.
So that's good. Like, it's not going to be the easiest to read, but, like, I don't know how it's going to work with Sue getting all these VODs.
Right. Well, and the other thing with Sue too, because he's been on the show a couple times, and one thing he's told us is that he no longer thinks lesser of foreign players, like some of the other Koreans do. Like he recognizes, like no, like they're scary. Like if they'll catch you off guard if you do not prepare for them. So he's one that has taken that into to heart. So I'm sure he's been studying everything he can, of her. Because I know as soon as he got eliminated from IEM, he flew immediately back to Korea.
Yeah.
And he's like, it was just time for him to start training, for GSL,
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. I mean, even if you didn't respect foreigners, though, like, researching people's VODs is, like, the least people do, though. Like, Like even if it's somebody like a no name, like you'd be surprised some of the people that will research you. Like if you're playing versus somebody really good, like a premier player, and you've only played like you qualified for like one WCS Challenger or something in whatever region, like they'll look you up and they'll figure out what you do no matter what. People are so like safe on that stuff. So like to me, like that means he's going even further. He's going the next step.
Yeah.
Of researching. He's he's going to be playing tons of customs. Obviously he's going to play customs, but whatever the next step of that would be, I don't even know.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be rough. Sue's not like the best ZVZ player, but he has actually pretty decent ZVZ. It's not bad. I can't think of any like recent games where like I was like, oh, this is really sketchy.
Right.
Like, and they play like a really specific style. I think Scarlet will like playing Sue because, like, if you play Korean ZVZ, like every day, it's gonna be way better just play that style than to play EU ZVZ because EU ZVZ is like totally like the hard counter to Korean ZVZ in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I feel like obviously like with her and having Jake being her coach, that we're probably gonna see a lot of early game aggression. Not every time, but I definitely feel like she's always gonna have that possibility, or maybe even the possibility to try to fake it. Right, like where she to the point where Sue's probably like I know like that they like to to do this, so I'm gonna go very safe, go defensive, and then who knows, maybe she goes even does like a 3-hatch, macro opener or something like that. Who knows? It's the mind games, right?
Yeah, 3-hatch is like kind of like really easy to get away with, to be honest, especially nowadays because 12 pool isn't as good. Well, not 12 pool, but 13-12 isn't as good. And like 12 pool to an extent because of the maps being kind of bigger. Right. Like I could definitely see like a 12 pool coming on backwater just because in base, like if you go 3-hatch, you don't get punished for it. You're just cruising super hard.
Sure.
So I could see that being a good 50-50 map, but it's like maybe a little too obvious. I don't know. Or like going 3-hatch on like, well, it really depends on like the confidence, right? Like,
sure. Or we even have seen a lot of the times where they'll get that 3rd hatch, but then not utilize it right, and then just do like a roach all in or something like that, right?
Yeah, I could totally see like a gold base being taken on East Watch, because honestly, it's not even that hard of a gold to take in CVZ because you don't have to worry about the rocks being taken down in that Ling Bane phase.
Right.
So like I know like No Regrets taken pretty much every gold that's ever happened in CVZ. So like like if he has a gold build that's good, like that's definitely something to look out for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like I could see Norgard feeding all these builds, but like it's just like how confident Scarlet is, right? Like, because you might be like, well, I think I can actually do this as a macro game. I don't know if I have to do this. At the same time, you don't want to do it just because you have to. You got to do it just to mix up, because that's the game. Right?
Yeah. Well, and I think her confidence is at an all-time high, right? Like after winning, Pyeongchang, I think she's definitely confident in her abilities and and her ability to execute those builds at the highest level, of course.
Yeah, it's not like there weren't Zergs, right? It was Sarah and a laser, 2 ZVZs, best of 5s. I mean, they are kind of a different style, but I mean, they're not bad. So it's, it's not like you can say like, well, I won this, but I didn't play this matchup. So, there's still like doubt, but I don't think there's going to be any like confidence issues. I can't see that happening.
Right, exactly.
For sure.
So then we have Classic versus Stats, and that'll be on Friday as well. That one, I just don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. Like, because Classic, I think, for myself at least, like, I feel like he did better than I thought he was going to at Katowice. Like, I didn't think he was going to be in the finals, right?
Right.
Like, he kind of got bopped. So, like, I kind of just don't know how to feel about him in general. Like, or, like, what's going to happen. Like, I feel like this is just one of those games where it's like, I don't know, like, yeah, like, I guess Classic could win, or Stats could win.
I feel like every Protoss who talks to me about Classic tells me how he's the fucking like new messiah and shit. Like Stats, Classic is like the fucking bee's knees. And like it's always about PvP and PvT. Like so I feel like he's definitely, from what I've been told, he's definitely gonna take it.
Okay.
Because I don't know, like Stats has been like decent people, but like I don't know, he has been crazy. Like he lost in like lower bracket to like Seoul in the one of the qualifiers,
right.
Like the first bracket. I mean, which Seoul's good and shit, but like because like he cheesed them out, so like shit happened. But like
it's still unexpected, yeah.
Yeah, he just wasn't playing like on top of it. I heard like the games like weren't like the performance wasn't really that good, and that could be jet lag, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. different reasons.
Yeah, and they're going to be preparing a lot for this, so it's totally different.
Right.
You know, it's a totally different format. You get weeks and weeks to prepare, and it's PvP, so it's like crazy shit can happen. But I definitely say Classic has an advantage, just from what I've been told about Classic.
Right. Then we'll have Zest versus Dark on, I think that'll be on Tuesday or Wednesday night. I can't remember. I think it's Tuesday night. Which is kind of, I don't know, I think that's kind of like an old school matchup, right? Like that's like a matchup like I feel like we haven't seen for like a while, right? Like two of the older players, going head to head in like a quarterfinals. That I feel like, and Zest hasn't been. I don't think he's been in the quarterfinals for like quite a while now.
It's kind of funny too, because everyone I kind of have this feeling where it's like, oh man, Zest is kind of slumping. He's not doing that great, but he's like in the Renovate, so it's kind of weird.
Right. Well, I think he's had a resurgence, for like the last year and a half. He really hadn't done anything except for when, Home Story Cup. But then it's like, okay, well, I guess he is getting better now. Like he's turning it back on. So, but then Dark's like obviously a great Zerg player. It's like I don't want us to say like, oh, like Dark's got no chance to beat Zest.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how the Hydra change will affect exactly how he plays. I didn't really see a lot of his ZVPs in Katowice, so I'm not really sure like how he's doing that. Like I think he only played like Trap and Hurricane. I didn't really see anything else besides that. So like I don't know. Like Trap and Hurricane are good, but like I feel like Zest would be better. And it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of weird because his style is like super aggressive all the time, and I feel like when he gets late game, it's really bad for him. Like he's not terrible at it, but like it feels like he's just making layer units over and over again. He's just kind of playing for 20 minutes on layer units,
right?
And like that's kind of what everyone's trying to do, just because everyone's so afraid of late game. Everyone's like, I don't want to go Broodlord, so I'm just gonna keep making Hydra Lurker all game. So maybe that'll help him because he's already doing that anyways. I don't know.
Well, and it's funny too because Broodlords used to be a thing, right? Because he used to stay on like Link Bane and tell Broodlords.
Yeah, that's true. He used to be that guy who would rush Hive at one point, but now it's like he's kind of the layer tech guy again. I feel like that's kind of how he started. Now he's kind of full circle. But I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. I think Dark has the advantage though in that one personally.
I agree.
Yeah. And I'm biased.
And then finally we'll have a team kill with Mar versus SOS.
The rematch.
Yeah. So what? I don't know. What do you think?
I didn't actually watch SOS vs Mario in Katowice, but I heard SOS really messed up, and like it shouldn't have been a loss for SOS. And I know that SOS has a really good TVP too, so that's kind of awkward. And I can't help but wonder like if they used the builds that they were gonna do in GSL in Katowice,
right?
Just because like the stakes are kind of like because they would have gotten more money, right? Like
at that point, I think definitely going for it all, yeah.
At the very least, if they were going for first, which obviously we're trying to, So it's like I can't help but wonder, like at that point, do you just say fuck it and just like use the builds you were gonna do, or do you go like hardcore meta and like just do some stuff that's like kind of good but like weird, like kind of like I don't know. I didn't really see the game, so I don't know how weird it was, but like I don't know. I feel like that's like really awkward that they had to play like this. Yeah.
So, but who are you giving your advantage to then for this?
Well, I think SOS just because of matchups, but
I think
it's really weird.
I think you're right, but I want Mar to get through. I want to see a Terran get through.
I want Terran to win the finals. So then I can use the memes that I was preparing for Katowice. It can still work, like we can still do it. Like
I have this Terran meme folder that just needs to be used.
It's while it's hot, we just got to go, So
definitely.
I'd like to see him, but I don't know, man. Protoss versus Terran looks so hard.
Yeah, definitely. That's pretty much all we have for tonight, guys. Appreciate you for watching. Isaac, thank you for joining me for the show. Thanks for being available. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's good times.
Did you want to give any shout-outs?
Well, shout out to Melioria, of course. My team, I got my jersey on. I was kind of slouching so you couldn't really see it, but I actually got this in
it's a nice jersey.
Pyeongchang. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's like a, it's not just like a shirt. That's always what I wonder when people tell me like they're going to give me a jersey. Like, is it a shirt or is it a jersey, right?
Is it a jersey? You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of the Meltdown jersey a little bit.
Yeah, the M.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Like the Meltdown M, I feel like it's similar.
Yeah, just like green and black instead of orange. Actually, I haven't seen that M. What's that look like?
No, wow. Their M is more
square. Yeah, it's more like...
But I guess it's like the center, like the focus though, right? Like the center point.
Yeah, and it's kind of got that outline kind of similar. Yeah, I definitely see.
We better stop showing people that. We don't want to get in trouble. we don't want to get Meliorator to get in trouble on that.
Don't piss off the French. But yeah, so just shout out to Meliora for, supporting me and helping me out. And I guess just Twitter and Twitch and stuff. I've been streaming a bit. I think I was doing kind of a lot, and then I was like, oh, I don't really want to do this much. And then all of a sudden people are asking me to stream and stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to be a streamer. But I think I'm gonna do like weekends is kind of the idea. Like, it seems like when people are watching anyways, so weekends kind of work. So definitely follow on Twitch. I've been trying to actually get good. In the last couple of weeks have been kind of shit, so that's important.
Right.
And of course Twitter, that's like the most important thing in StarCraft for some reason is your Twitter. I don't know why.
Gotta have those numbers, man. That's what everyone's interested in is those hard numbers.
Yeah, that's how you get the good contracts, man. You gotta have those Twitter followers. I'm telling you. So, that's how I tell everybody. After every stream, I'm like, Twitter matters, man. If you want to support a player, you follow them on Twitter. Like, that shit is important.
100%. It definitely is. Yeah. And for everyone that doesn't know, your Twitter is at PandaBearMe SC2, I believe.
Yeah, my name SC2 at the end.
Gotcha.
Just look up PandaBearMe, you'll probably find me.
Yeah.
Not the most normal name.
Not the most common, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you everyone for watching today. Really appreciate you stopping by. Thank you to our sponsors, Scythe Esports and Sloth Esports for sponsoring the show. Make sure you check out slothesports.com and scythesports.com. Just realized that those sound a little bit alike, but check out both because they're both really cool. Obviously, the site, maybe I'll just show you guys. The Scythe Esports site is kind of cool.
Oh, you already got it up?
Yeah, it's ready to go.
Oh, wait, I think I actually have seen this. I already knew that.
We have a couple links here, and you can see our official roster. We made up a little thing for everyone, so kind of cool. To show off some of this nice NA talent. And oh, look at that guy. He looks pretty handsome.
Oof. And you outdressed everyone. You should have told them, man. Like by the way.
I tried to tell them, but you know how nerds are, man. Like, a lot of them are just like, I don't know.
Oh, man. Oh, man. You don't tell me when, teams are like, hey, I need a picture of you, against, a white wall. I'm like, man, I'm going to have to go out of my way for this one. I have to, ask my mom, hey, can you get the camera and take a picture of me? And, Photoshop it or something. It's always a weird conversation.
Maybe I should just take out my head and then put their head in it for each one, and then they can all be wearing suits, right?
Yeah, you just cut it off at the neck, and then they'll be like, "Wow, this is a really well dressed team. They're really professional."
And then maybe I'll just paint bucket the suit color, and then we'll just do all slight variations of the same color, make it look just a little bit different.
Tan and white, just kind of tinge a little bit.
Yeah,
that would be good, man. It's hard to get those pictures though. I don't blame you. Those are a pain in the ass.
I mean, my picture's from my wedding, so there was a reason why I was wearing that. I don't just have a suit lying around.
You got to pick your best picture. When someone asks you, hey, what I need a picture of you. You look through there and you're gonna see that suit, and you're like, this is it. This is the one, right?
Yeah.
This is my best.
Definitely.
I'm messing around.
But yeah, guys, like I was saying, Twitter is super important, so I linked my Twitter in the chat channel there, so follow us at Scythe Esports _ on Twitter for all our updates, as well as the Dank Shrine updates, because obviously Scythe is just the new sponsor for Dank Shrine. If you'd like to support the team and the channel, feel free to donate right now. You can see our goal is for DreamHack Austin. We still have 84 days to go, but just note that anything you do donate goes directly to support the team and or the content. At this point, it's both, since, just getting down there is the priority. But just know that if you do decide to donate, that's what the money goes towards. Just want you guys to know that, everything that we make and do goes right back into the community. And, even more so now with the team, right? It's not just the content, but it's also, with the Scythe Esports team. So, I appreciate everything you do. I know we had a new sub, Melty. Thank you for resubbing for 6 months. Did want to shout you out. I appreciate that a lot, man. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week live. It'll be a little bit later in the evening because we will have a Korean on. We're gonna have a Root Hero on for next Wednesday. So be sure to tune in for that show for a funny time. The last time he was on, we had a really good time. So, but thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you live next week.
Yeah.